changing. The time is changing. Things are looking different. And here we are in this wonderful opportunity of life to make some changes, to get some wonderful and amazing things going. This is what is, awesome. So tonight, we're still going to continue on our journey. The 5 Pillars of Prosperity, the new series, is starting soon. And I'm coming here to tell you of the different things that happens with the 5 Pillars of Prosperity. We talked about the secret is getting the code, the little secret, the secret recipe to make those 5 pillars work for you. Everything has a recipe. Everything has a secret recipe. So last night I told you, I introduced you to the secret of the 5 pillars. Tonight I'm going to push you a little further because you keep saying to me, I want success, Tessa-Marie. You keep telling me, I want to live a fulfilled life, Tessa-Marie. You keep telling me, what should I do to have the things I desire in my life? I desire a life where I have the ability to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Because you see, I want to be physically healthy. I want to be emotionally balanced. I want to be mentally fit. I want to be spiritually aligned. I want to have all the money I need to do all the things that I want to do. This is what you keep telling me about you. I get your DMs, I get your emails, and it's always about the things you desire, but you keep using that one word, that one that has a bottom and things just fall out of it. And I told you last night, the 5 pillars, there's a secret to make them work. And there is an amazing secret to make those 5 pillars work. But tonight, I want to teach you something a little. These are the things you're going to learn on the 5 pillars. These are the things you're going to get in the new series. What if you have to do this? I asked you that question. What if you have to spend 2 minutes in the 16 waking hours you have each day to think about your desires and to see them clearly? What if you had that privilege to sit for 2 minutes 16 times a day? Just 2. And think of what the desires you have and how you can see them roll out. You can see them rolling out. You have ever been on a production line and things just roll out and roll out? Can you imagine you have this opportunity each and every day? 2 minutes, just 2. And sit and roll out your desire as you plan it. So 2 minutes in 16 hours is actually just 32 minutes in a day. That's a little over half an hour. That gives you 11,680 minutes in a year. It's only 195 hours. That's what it is. So if you had that, would you do it? And at the end of that, what do you think would happen? So there you are. Have you ever tried to give a minute speech to see how long it feels? Especially when you're about 14 to about 17. And you're going from one leg to the other leg and that leg and you're like this and you're trying your best and the teacher is at the front of the thing. You see how long it is? It is still as long as that. And this is why I am asking you to try to do that. 2 minutes from watching some people behave badly on television. 2 minutes from watching people not having so much fun in their life. 2 minutes. Some commercials run for, I don't know, because I'm not a TV watcher kind of person. So, 2 minutes. Put your timer on. Put your kitchen time. I don't care what you time it with. And sit in stillness and silence somewhere, anywhere. One of the places that I have done this often and often is standing in line. When I stand in line waiting, when I'm at the dentist, when I go to the doctor's office, when I'm starting at the stoplight, when I am walking, I hold my consciousness for 2 minutes just so I can roll out my desire in front of me. Roll it out So if you're sitting, you can just take a deep breath and close your eye. You don't have to close your eye, but after a little while, you can actually see it. And you have to see it rolling out in your mind's eye before it rolls out in reality. This is what the 5 pillars of prosperity in the new series will teach you. Spend those little 2 minutes every hour and do that. See it, feel it, breathe it, energize it. It's not just, no, put some emotion in it. Give it some fertilizer of your soul. Give it something. Dig deep and say, okay, this is what I want for my desire to be like. Smile at it and say, yeah. Taste it like you're having something that's good to eat and see it. Close your eyes. Like you have put out a statement for your webinar. When last did you feed it? You, a man, want to do so many things. When last did you seek it? When last did you push it? When last did you say when last you spent 2 minutes on planning and seeing the picture, seeing the results, seeing the people, seeing the money? Do that 2 minutes every hour for 16 hours in a day. And you push that for 365 days in a year, you have 11,960 minutes, 195 hours. Let me tell you a story about me. Often my stories are about everybody else, but this is me. So when I decided I needed to make a huge salary at the bank, I wanted more money, I looked at this situation, I desired more. I had 3 people that were smarter than me. Obviously, they were going to be educated. And I knew they were, because I instilled in them they had to. So I had already set that ball in rolling. So I better be prepared to, with my back, to hit that ball out of the park, right? Home run. 3 home runs I needed. 3. So I looked at the situation up and down. I wasn't satisfied with where I was. I didn't like what I was enjoying it, because I enjoy numbers and seeing people win. But the salary wasn't good. And then I found out, you see this one up there? That's the one I want. And I told you how I was rejected by that crazy manager I had. But, miracles happen. Sometimes somebody pushes you, right? Somebody takes you and they think they're punishing you. But when they think they're punishing you, they're actually just releasing you. So when I asked her, can I go in and sign up, which she signed me up for the financial planner, certified financial planner designation. I didn't ask for just the financial planner. I'm going all the way. She said no. Anyway, she didn't. But instead of even keeping me where I could sell and where I could interact with customers, she said, I'm going to put you in the dungeon. That's what she did. Okay. But she doesn't know this woman. Resilience is my second name. So the bank I worked at was at King and Young. 3 basements into the ground. The vault was built in the ground before the bank was put on top of it. The precision in that vault is so fine that a paper clip will prevent it from closing. You got it? The vault was dragged up from the bottom of King Street, downtown Toronto, by 22 horses in those days, and came up and laid in the ground, and 1 King West was built on top of it. Marble and brass, beautiful place to work. Cold like hell, historical building, no insulation, the windows are... We worked with our coat on. So you can imagine how warm it was downstairs, right? So you took a little elevator and you went down. That's what she sent me. So she sent me to work in the 3rd basement. It wasn't dusty. It was vault with the richest and the most beautiful things people had in their homes. They were too wealthy or too valuable to keep in the houses. They kept them in a vault. So they would come just to open the vault and admire their wealth, the churches. It was just amazing. But you saw 1 or 2 person a day if you were lucky, maybe 5 people in a week. So after about a few days, something said to me, girl, use your time wisely. Why don't you say the rosary? I'm Catholic, I know nothing else but to pray. The nuns had me since they were 3, so you can imagine they still praying for air, water, rain. We prayed for everything in that convent. So I pulled out my rosary. Dutiful Catholic girl, is always with me to this day. And I started using my hour. 8 hours I was working. I said a rosary every hour, 8 hours, 5 days a week. I prayed the rosary by myself. Then after maybe a couple of weeks, something would trigger me. And I would look up and it would be like 3 minutes to the hour. I didn't have to time it anymore. I felt the energy in that area change, and there were crowds, as if there were people waiting for me to say the rosary. So I recognized that it's not understanding energy. I just said the rosary. That went on. One day, one of our richest customers came in. He took a look at me and said, Tessa-Marie, what are you doing down here? I said, oh, well, my manager thinks that's the best place for me. He said, why is she hiding you? You are her best jewel. And I said, you mean that is for her to know and for me not to care? They're still paying me the same salary. And he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, actually, I want to be a certified financial planner. He said, well, why don't you do it? I said, have you looked at the price of this thing? And he said, I wouldn't. I said, yeah, it's like, I don't know, whatever, 1,500 of one course, there are 9 courses. And I couldn't do this. He said, well, where do you do it? I said, oh, the Institute of Canadian Bankers in Montreal, they send it to you, la, la, la. So I told him, and off he went. So we had messengers. So Jerry knew she didn't like me, Jerry the messenger. One day, Jerry left at 3, but it's 4:30 and Jerry still is dilly-dallying. He said, Jerry, what do you want? He said, I have something for you. I said, oh, you have something for me? He said, yes, it's covered under this. I said, covered under what? Under these things. I said, what is it? He said, well, yesterday morning, this box came in for you. And I looked at it and I didn't want the supervisor to see it, the manager to see it, so I hid it down here for you. I said, well, what is in it? He said, I don't know, your name is on it. I opened the box and this thing was huge, and I looked at Jerry, what did you, anyway, Jerry said, just open it. I opened the box and there were the 9 courses that I needed to study for me to become a certified financial planner. I didn't even know what to think. But something said to me, shut up. So after the tears, I said, okay. So now I have it here. I can't take it home. It's too many. So I said to Jerry, what we're going to do? He said, there's empty vault. You can stick it in there and then you just take what you want. So I started studying every day. I spent my entire 7.5 hours of working time studying. And I was writing the exams when I would go home on the computer, sending in the assignments. I aced the shit out of this thing. It took 18 months to do it, but I did it. It was, when I first opened the book, it was like reading Greek. I said, what the hell is this? I didn't understand one word, but I kept reading it and reading it and reading it. I read the book 3 times without making one notification, and on the 4th read, I started realizing, understanding, and I highlighted. Anyway, I did it then, and I passed. But what I didn't know, the results goes to head office of the bank where you work. So the results went to the head office, and they called her, and they said we're having a ceremony for Tessa-Marie because she's distinction, but we cannot find where we registered her. She said, well, I didn't register her. I don't think she's qualified. I'm like, oh, that's what she said. And of course, she's so stupid. She went around telling everybody in the branch that she didn't think I'm qualified, but somehow, some way, I took the exam. So she had to go with me, talk about it in Crow, to head office. Big ceremony, a diploma comes, they frame it for you. I could show you the diploma. And then they talk to me, and then they give me a check for the amount of money with interest on it because they were supposed to pay for it. And I'm looking at it, I'm in so much shit now. I'm thinking to myself. So anyway, I kept the check, finally, I have it. They moved me, sent me downtown, sent me at Queen and Bay Street. And I met a manager that was divine. And he used to call me his sunshine. And that was where I thrived. And then one day, the gentleman came to see me because he found out I was here. And I said, listen, I still have the date. And I talked to him. He wouldn't take the check. So anyway, I took the check and I deposited it in one of their educational account because he wouldn't take it from me. And I studied every day at home. Besides the 7 hours at work, I did 1 hour every day at home. So I studied my ass off for me to get this. And if it was Christmas or Thanksgiving or one of these things and I couldn't study, the next day I did 1 hour and 15 minutes. But I aced it. And that was the thing that taught me how when you have a desire that you cannot just play with it every now and again. That is where I learned to enjoy the taste of the journey. That is where I learned, when I tell you the taste of the journey, I could laugh telling you the story. A journey has bitterness. A journey has salt. A journey has sugar. A journey has, it's delicate. It's like having Hell's Kitchen scallops. It melts in your mouth. That's what it is. And then it has those bitter, briny, awful tastes. But it's the journey. When I stood there with the diploma in my hand, it wasn't the diploma that gave me satisfaction. It was remembering the taste of the journey, how I got there. The moment was with the diploma and the accolades, and I was 51 years old, guys. The accolades and the joy and we cannot believe you did that, meant nothing. All I could do through the smile was the taste of the journey. How one human being took it upon herself to destroy my hopes. But I didn't let her. I tried to do what I could do. All I could do at the time was pray. And that's what started the journey. But I saw myself during the praying time as a financial advisor. I saw myself as a financial planner. I saw myself dress up like it. I saw myself driving a car to clients' home. I saw myself bringing in millions, 5 million, 10 million. I saw myself pulling in money like you wouldn't think. I saw it so much that when I left King & Young, some of the customers followed when they heard I was there and brought their portfolios for me to manage. And because they just enjoyed being with me. Then she complained that I took customers. And my reply to the manager where I was is, how can I take customers when I didn't have customers? I was down in the dungeon. Ask her that. There is more to it than that, right? So that was what happened to me. So what I'm saying, I had an hour, but you have 2 minutes. Just try 2 minutes. 2 amazing minutes for you to make your dreams become a reality. But remember, when you're standing on the podium, it's not that counts. The end of the race means nothing. It pales in comparison to the journey to get to the podium. I know that. I still smile. And you know what is funny, guys? Kama is really Years later, as a manager, she called me to ask me to hire her son. I really couldn't because I was hiring from within. But can you imagine, did she forget that? I wonder. But I didn't dwell on it. I couldn't carry her with me across the river. I left her on the bank in that branch that day. The day when I was sent to King & Young to work for that amazing man that called me Sunshine. That's how he described me. He said, when you walk in the branch, everything was brighter. Because I love life. So I couldn't take her with me. I have not brought her into the future. But the reason I'm telling you this tonight is that you understand that you have, take your 2 minutes. Take your 2 minutes. You have a goal. You are told me you there, and you said something to me today, my friend. You said something to me yesterday, or you said it somewhere and I heard you. And I wish I could have reached into wherever you said it and grabbed your tongue and say, no, don't say that. You said, nobody has joined my seminar yet. And you shouldn't have said that. There is nothing called nobody. Everybody has a body. A body comes before your name. So do not say that. Like when I come to do the lives these days, I have 2 of you, 3 of you, 4 of you, 5 if I'm lucky. You know what? I don't give a shit. I am doing my part. I have something to give somebody out there to get them to win. To get them to know that I too was pressed upon. I too was told, no, I don't think she has it in her. My clients didn't do that. The clients that I dragged with me, that followed me to Timbuktu, to Scarborough from downtown, they didn't care. And that is what matters. So each of you that came here tonight, when I came, it was a man only, then Yoko came in and a few here, Cyrus dropped in. And you know, Tyrone, and that's it. But that's enough. Because what I ask every day is I reach one person. Because I know I have something valuable to give. And that is what you have to remember, all of you. Rosie, Yuko, Ahmad, Tyrone, Carolina, you have something to give. And if when you get there to give it, you can only find one person that you think is not equipped for it, then you are losing. That one person, give it to them like you have 10 million people there. I am not quitting. The pillars of prosperity must work. They have to work because they are there to help people live a fulfilled life. So I do not want to hear any of you that come and help me and push me and encourage me. I shudder when I hear you say that nobody's come yet. It doesn't matter. Keep pushing it. Talk about it. Come and do a live with me and tell me why you think it's the best thing that person should register for. Tell me. It doesn't matter. We will find that one person. And when that one person takes it and go out and step out in the world, they will say, I am like this because I did this. You cannot let the defeat of the moment affect the entire journey. You get a flat tire on the 401, do you just stay there? No! You phone to get help. You do not stay on the 401 because you get a flat tire and you don't continue on your journey. So why should you do that with the rest of your life? Use those 2 minutes. Use those 2 minutes each hour. 2 minutes. Sit on the floor. When you don't know what to do, lie on the grass and just scream and say, I need to have this. But do it. My thing is to pray, go in silence, demand that life give me what I ask for. And I'll not stop. So when the 4 of you are here, 5 of you are here, this girl doesn't care. As long as one of you get healed, one of you get fixed. What you want, you fix it and you succeed at it. And you can turn back. Like this young man said to me when I said, congratulations on your 2nd child. What do I have to do with a birth or the conception or the creation of his child? You know what his answer was? Congratulations to me, yes, but it's all because of you. All I did was put him on a financial path. He bought his home. I gave him the tools. He practiced it in front of me. I got him set up to get a house in 18 months. And he's moved with his family. He got a wife. They were together as fiancés. They have 2 children. I'm saying congratulations on your 2nd child. He said it's all because of you. So that, I can never forget that. I can't. Because I know for sure I affected one life of one human being in a positive way. His story wasn't smooth, but he was willing to take the information I was giving him and use it. And he succeeded, and he was able to be the one person that turned back. They all do. But his was recent because his baby was just born this year, the second child. So what I'm asking you to do is to give yourself 195 hours to make your dreams become, your desire become a reality. In 365 days, you will have done 95 hours of thinking, of digesting, of tasting the journey, of failing a little bit and saying, it's okay, I am going to try again. Of stopping to drink the water. Oh, that water is yucky. And continuing and saying, I know the water is yucky, but I have to continue. I must drink it so I have the strength to continue. Oh, and that food is too peppery, but you know what? I have to eat so I can have sustenance to continue the journey. Taste the journey. Because when you stand on the podium, that moment there is fleeting. You will not even remember all of it. I saw the faces, but I can't name them all. I can't. But I can remember that story of how difficult the journey to get on the podium was. And that's what counts. Because that's what you will remember. So try to practice what I'm asking you to do. What if you have to think of what you desire for 2 minutes every hour that you are awake, every day? What if? What if? That's all I want you to know. What if? Think about that and try it. Do not be afraid to dream big. Dream big that when you dream, your ears ring and you feel like it's bursting. Dream until you feel it. That's what you have to do. Because when you get a hiccup, like 5 of you, 4 of you, 6 of you, 2 of you, 1 of you, that's okay. Because they still one of you. Could be worse, couldn't it? So guys, have fun tonight with life and enjoy it. So send in your light and joy. I'll check your comments now, but I want to talk to you first about tomorrow. So those of you that are there, let's talk about tomorrow. We have morning blessings at 8. Only God and his angels know what I'll be talking about. And he hasn't even told me yet. So can you imagine? I can't tell you. Then at 12 o'clock, I have the magnificent Rosie Rose straight from California. She's coming to tell us what intrigues her. I cannot wait to feel that energy from Rosie. She is dynamite. And then, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have the great Canadian Evan Carmichael coming to tell us what intrigues you, Evan Carmichael. You cannot miss that, guys. You do not want to miss those two. Tete-a-tete, one after the other. What do they call it? A double header. Tomorrow we have a double header. I need to see you there. And this thing is just blowing out of proportion. So try as you may, get there. 12 o'clock for Rosie Rose, a woman of just amazing ability, and the magnificent Evan Carmichael coming to tell us why, what intrigues him. I can't wait. I'm already excited and nervous and frightened. Can you imagine you're interviewing your coach? Whoa, scary, eh? And then, of course, we'll meet again tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, I'm going to shake you up because the pillars of prosperity has to work. And it will only work if you know the secret. And as I told you already, I've got the secret. And in new series, you will get the secret. But you have to work with it. So tonight, I wonder what you think. What if you have 2 minutes every of your waking hours to work on your desires? What do you think would happen?